Oh my gosh.
Got water in my gauge, but we have almost 10 psi right there. So the other day, we had the big excavator here moving some rocks for us for where we're going to be putting our tiny house. While I was waiting, I dug more of our trench for our gravity-fed water system. If we get down here, we're going to get more pressure. And of course, we've gotten rain since I did the trench, so we got quite a bit of water down here. So I'm going to dig it out a little bit more, get this water to flow out, and then we're going to stop putting in this water line. It's going to be interesting to see how much more water pressure we have down here versus the other two hydrants, because this pot, you probably can't tell on camera too much, but we dropped quite a bit in elevation from that last hydrant to down here, so we should gain quite a bit of pressure. I lost my Sharpie. So this is a hydrant that can get buried at least 5 feet deep. So I'm just marking my 5-foot mark. We're going to bury it in the ground 5 feet. And we're going to get all of our water line hooked up. I need to install the T. I didn't bring another cap, so I'm going to have to take the cap off that end and put it on this end. So I'm going to get a little wet when I do that. Yeah, you want to go push the rest of the line in? That's good, babe. Nice and level that way. Nice and level that way. Now I can backfill with some more stone. This way when I shut off our spigot, it's going to drain down, and all the water that we're shutting off and putting in the ground will have all this gravel to go in and drain out. Alright, so next we're going to go get wet. I'm going to go cut the line, get the line ready down there, but before I hook it up, that cap I forgot, I got to undo from that end. I'll run down, put it over here, get this capped, and then I'll hook this line up. So there'll be some running water going on.
You're going to run?
For a few minutes. Yep, gotta have to. Alright, so if I'm not fast enough, we're going to have about 400 gallons of water in this trench. Worst case scenario. Alright, here we go.
Am I going to get wet?
I don't think you'll get wet. I'm going to get wet. Let's keep this up here.
It's going to come spreading right out.
Probably will. We're going to get a little wet. Alright, you should do that.
I should?
Yes. So there is a lot of air in this line still. So I think once we do this all, we get all the air out of this line, we're going to have a lot more pressure up at these hydrants.
I don't think I'm that strong to hold that.
You can hold it. I'm not even putting much pressure on it. So you just, I'm only going to be not even 5 minutes. I'll be 2 minutes. Just keep your hand like this. You might get a little wet.
Oh my gosh. Oh, geez.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ah, my foot, go.
I gotta get my... Alright, let's go. We got a lot of pressure here. So now I gotta try to get my union in here without heating it up. then get wet. Ew. I'm leaning in my boot. My boot just filled up with water.
Did you get it?
I did. And I got a boot filled with water. But I got that. I just got to tighten it up now. Whew. There was a lot of air pressure still in there. I bet you we got full water coming out up there. Well, look at all the water pressure we have now. It was just airbound. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I don't have a 5-gallon bucket on me, but before we finish this video, I'll have to get a 5-gallon bucket and see how long it takes to fill a 5-gallon bucket up now.
Time it up, time it again.
Because last time it took like what?
5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah.
This time it's gonna take no time. Awesome. All right, let's get this one finished up down below. So I'm gonna take the cap end off that. And at the same time, I want you to turn this on for a minute, and I wanna make sure we got all the air out of this part of the line. No, that's not me peeing, that's the hydrant draining. But I wanna open up this plug just a little bit and make sure we got all the air out of the line.
Oh, I hear it.
Hear it? All right.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about air. I got the excavator.
You need to get hosed off.
There it comes.
Let's give some air.
Wow. Okay. Jeesh. That was a lot of air in that line.
Is it on good?
It's on good. We'll have all the air out, so we should have really good pressure now. That was crazy. I soaked the excavator with that first batch of water that came out, and that's what, 15, 20 feet away? This is going to be so nice having a constant supply of gravity-fed water on the homestead. Be able to water our animals and our gardens and stuff like that once we get it tested. If not, we'll have to get like a UV light and put a UV light in our bulk storage tank to kill any crud. Yeet.
Many options.
Many options. Now later on we'll be tying this water supply into our barn when we build one over here. So I'm just going to cover that extension of black pipe that I have with this piece of PVC pipe. So when I'm digging this back out, when I get down to this pipe, I'll know, hey, you got a pipe coming up soon, slow down. You know what this means? This means we get to backfill all of our trenches and not have to worry about any more water getting in these things. We are done with digging water lines. On this project right now anyways. Oh, so nice.
Did you bring a hose to hose off your excavator?
No, but now we do have enough pressure so we can hose off the excavator. It's pretty dirty.
It looks like it needs a...
It needs a bath. Yep. Now we can, babe. Now we can. now we need to pick up some big rocks, then we can finish grading this and get it seated back in. Make sure it still works. It's got some good flowage. This is the lowest hydrant, so this should have the most head pressure. It does. Oh yeah. That's got a lot more pressure. I like it. Now we can wash the equipment off. We're back up here at the pond to check to see if the level has risen. Let's go check out the standpipe. So what we did is we built a dock the other day. If you guys haven't seen those videos, I'll put a link to those videos right here. And if I forget, if you go back a few videos, that's them. And I put an extension on our standpipe to raise the water level up. I didn't do a great sealing job. I'll tell you that in a second. So it's up, about an inch to an inch and a half from the other day. It's leaking by. I had to make this fit the standpipe, and if I slam it on there with a hammer, it'll have a nice seal and it won't leak. But then I won't be able to get it back off. So I want to get this pond level up to where that standpipe is going to be. As long as everything is good and I don't need to take it back off, then I'll slam it in place and get the seal going good. But I just want to make sure that raising the pond up 8 inches isn't going to hurt anything. So I'm going to do it a little bit at a time, and if I need to, I can take it off and let the water out. I wish I brought my bathing suit. I'd be jumping in right now. It's the next morning now. We're back up here at the off-grid property. I need to put the grapple bucket back on the TYM tractor, and we have a lot of rocks we need to move by the water line we just put in. I picked up a water gauge. I picked up a water pressure gauge, that's better, so we can see how much water pressure we have in the lines. And I also have some 5-gallon buckets, so I want to be able to see how much or how long it takes to fill up a 5-gallon bucket. We did this before when we weren't getting a lot of flow, and I'll have to go back and find that footage and see how long it took us, and then we'll do it now with all the water flow we're getting. I bet you we're going to get 5 gallons in like a minute and a half. That's my guess. What's yours? Leave it in the comments down below. It's crazy that putting on such a big bucket is that easy. You'd think there'd be a little bit more to it. You could feel it when that big rock came off. The reason why we're piling up the rocks down here is I have a project I want to do down here. So we're going to move them all down here, and then later on when we have time for this project, we'll have the rocks right handy nearby. stump over here we need to get out of our way and move, and then that's pretty much the last big thing we need to pick up, and we can start grading it out and getting it seeded. So yeah, let's get this done. It's gonna be nice to have this trench all filled back in and looking pretty. Picked up a gauge to see how much water pressure is coming out of the lines and if there's different pressure at the different hydrants. So let's put that on today and see what happens. So it went up to about maybe 3 to 5. Not a lot, but maybe 1 psi now. Let's see if there's any air. There's got to be air in there. Now that we have the air out, it's not even registering any pressure. But we got good flow. Ooh, a little bit more pressure. So that's registering 2 pounds-ish. See what happens if we get the air out. Definitely more pressure. It's not, there we go. 2 pounds. And it comes and goes. So now let's see what that one is, because that's a lot lower. Yuck. We got the flow. That's what matters. After we check this, we still gotta put a 5-gallon bucket on and see how many gallons per minute we're getting. Got water in my gauge, but we have almost 10 psi right there. Let's get the air out of the system. Yeah, 9 comes and goes, but on the high side we have almost 9. Eight to 9. I like that. That is some good, cold, mountain spring water. That feels so good to have that at the off-grid property. That's game-changing, having spring, gravity-fed water on the homestead. We don't have to worry about ever losing power and not having our water supply. We'll always have water as long as our spring doesn't dry out. That is awesome. Oh, I'm just gonna find out how many gallons a minute we're getting. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see how many minutes it took to fill this 5-gallon bucket up before we got all the air out of the system. We'll check this one and then we'll check the lower one. So I'm gonna turn it on. As soon as I turn it on, I'm gonna hit start. Once the water starts flowing. 20 seconds and it's already over half full. 5-gallon bucket overflowing in 44 seconds. That's awesome. Less than a minute, we can get 5 gallons of water.
That's so much faster.
That is so much faster. It was like 4 1/4 or 5 minutes. to fill this. I'll have to go back and look. Let me turn this on. When water starts running, start. Two minutes in, and I'm gonna say that's halfway full. Because 5 gallons is like to here, it's not to the top. Alright, so 4 minutes 10 seconds to get 5 gallons. So we get about 1.25 gallons in a minute out of here. That's not bad, I don't think. 20 seconds and it's already over half full. It's the next morning and we need to get the area that we trenched for the water line raked up, picked up, and seeded. It's gonna be nice to have this back to normal. You won't even be able to tell that we had a trench here at some day. I still have the box scraper on the TYM tractor, so we're gonna use the box scraper to get the grade pretty level. And then we'll see if we either need the York rake or the drag. Then we can get some grass seed down. That's gonna be nice. It's working a lot better than I thought it was going for. That smoothed it out nicely. We will need to go over and either drag it out after or get the York rake on. We'll see. Right here, this is the area I got the excavator stuck before, so I am hoping we can get out with the bucket of the tractor, just kind of push ourselves out. We're gonna find out, otherwise we're gonna have to get the excavator over here. Well, we were lucky enough to get ourselves out. We've been able to push ourselves out with the bucket. So I just need to remember this spot is wet and it needs to dry out. Ever since we started this trenching job, we've been getting a lot of rain. And more rain and more rain. And right here, it's a low spot and everything just keeps, all the water keeps running and settling there. So nothing's had a chance to dry out. I was hoping today I could kind of work it and get everything draining away from there, but we're not gonna be able to do that today without getting stuck. So let's get this area up here cleaned up and then we can figure out what we're gonna do back here after. Let's get out of this one now. It's always an adventure on the homestead. We never know what we're gonna get into. don't get stuck in another one before we get out and get out of this area. Alright, I really want to get this area smoothed up so we can get it all seeded and be done and the water will shed better. So I'm going to try going at this at a different angle because I just can't give up. We got to get all the water running off and not pulling up in one spot. So I'm hoping that if we go across it instead of up with it, then we won't get stuck. There goes nothing. Alright, so I just spread all the grass seed I had left over, and we're about 2 to 5 pounds short of grass seed. So we have all of it done except for like the last 10 feet by however wide it is down by the last hydrant. So I'll have to get some more seed, but for now we are going to drag this and get the seed mixed in with the dirt so we can start growing grass here, guys. And it'll all blend in and look beautiful. You don't know how excited I am to have all this water flow up at the off-grid property, and to have 8 pounds of pressure down at the lower hydrant is awesome. When we get our barn built down there and we extend the water line into the barn, I wonder how much water pressure we'll have then. I'm gonna guess we'll probably gain like 1 or 2 psi, but we won't be finding that out for a little while. I was surprised with how much air was still in that system. I'm glad I took off that cap to get the air out and we went back into the other hydrant. It feels good to have it working, and it feels even better to have it all filled in, seeded. Now we're done with that project. This was one of those projects that's just turned into so much. The weather did not cooperate. If it wasn't for the rain, we would have got this project done quickly, but you know how it is. Mother Nature loves to throw us curveballs, keeps us on our toes, and hey, all we can do is swing for the fence and make sure we don't give up and get it done. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you right back here in the next video at Lumnah Acres. Bye.